I'm from iHaus. My name is Anton, and it's my pleasure today to present our project here. Let me start off by quickly explaining who we are and what we do. So we are a startup based in Unterföhring. We've been around since 2014. I have about 15 employees, and yeah, we do smart home. More specifically, we are a smart home integrator, which means that we try to take a bunch of different technologies and try to put them into one combined solution. We actually like to think of ourselves as a smart home platform, which means that we don't just have an application that allows you to control devices individually and together, but we also like to use the control features that you get from this and the data these devices generate to build applications on top of that and cover use cases with this functionality. One thing that we do slightly differently than others is that we actually bridge between IoT devices, so stuff that you can just go into your MediaMarkt, Saturn, and more professional systems, so stuff like KNX, things that have been around for decades. Then we also throw services into the mix, so think weather and traffic, so information that can make your home even more intelligent. We also try to put smart home into mass production, so to say. This means that we, with our projects, we don't just try to do prototypes or individual houses, but we actually work with construction companies to build smart homes in series. Our biggest project that we have is actually in Karsfeld, where we have around 30 single-family homes and a bunch of apartments being built or having already been built. Well, people actually lived in for, well, quite a while by now. And yeah, that was a spoiler before. We have one demo house that actually belongs to us, where we can do a bunch of different things. We invite our partners, talk to customers, but it's actually also a full test environment for us. So whenever we feel like we need to debug something, we just pack our laptop, go to Karsfeld, and have a bunch of hardware available to us. The cool thing about this is that as part of this project, this house will also be available to you. So you'll be able to test your things there as well. Right, so this is our third iPraktikum. We had some really cool products come out of this, some really cool demos here. It is very lecture hall. And yeah, it's been really, really fun. We were not the only ones that thought this was interesting, because as you see, these two pictures actually look awfully similar, but these are 2 different years. We actually took both our groups to the Smart Home Deutschland Awards. And, well, we both times won first prize. So the thing is, of course, we kind of want to continue this right now. So, so this year will be your turn to do something really, really cool and to impress us and others. Which brings me to our problem. So imagine the following situation. You have a neighborhood. In this neighborhood, a few people will have charging stations for electrical cars. Generally speaking, if you have 2 charging stations, you have 2 cars, everything is fine. But since we all know e-mobility is becoming more and more popular, so a bunch of more people will buy more cars. The problem, though, is these people will probably not buy charging stations as well. So what's going to happen is that you'll have this situation where you have cars waiting for each other. So you will have to take turns. When you're done charging, you have to move your car. When it's your turn, you have to move your car into the charging spot, plug it in, and all this. If you have too many cars, or if someone actually just forgets to move their car, or it's too busy to do this, you get this. You have an empty battery, you have to take the bus the next morning. Think of another problem. So now we actually throw in a bunch of charging stations into the neighborhood. Everyone has their own. You can just come home, park, plug your car in. This is not a problem in the afternoons. So you have a couple of cars, because everyone's at work, you plug them in, everything's fine. But now imagine in a rush hour situation. So you come home from work, everyone gets back, has used their car all day, the batteries are empty, and everyone plugs them in. The electricity grid is not going to like that. So not only is your car not going to get charged properly, most likely, you might even be sitting in the dark for the rest of the evening. Yeah, so these are just a couple of problems that you have when you start looking at electrical car charging on a neighborhood scale. So we propose a solution to this, and we call the solution iHaus City Juice. The idea is that this is a software solution, more specifically an iOS app, that helps you to share your charging stations in an efficient, convenient, and safe way. So how do we do this? First of all, we of course need to analyze and understand how sharing a charging station could work. Do we just share time slots? Do we actually charge the cars slower so we can charge 2 cars at a time? Things like that. And this is, for example, a place where if you're into machine learning, you can really use all the stuff you've learned. The next part is, of course, once we have this knowledge, that we want to go ahead and inform the user. So you want to notify, hey, now's a good time to charge. Or do suggestions, like, hey, why don't you just charge at this time? Next thing, to make this more interesting, we can throw in gamification into this. Not only to motivate people to use the system, but also to make the system more efficient. Because just think of the case where you could, for example, introduce a currency, e-coins, something like that. And you would go and earn coins if you charge at a very unpopular time. But then the next day, if you really, really need to charge a car, you can just go during rush hour and spend all your coins to fill up your battery. And last but not least, we have all these smart homes. They generate a lot of data. We have photovoltaics on the roof. We have batteries in the basement. We have even appliances in the house. So we have a lot of information that we can rely on to see when is a good time to charge our cars, or when the user that owns the house in a charging station would rather use the utilities for themselves. Right? This was it from my side. My colleague Ralph will hopefully be around later. If not, just grab me. Yeah, smart home is an interesting place to be. So if you like our project, come talk to us. If you don't like our project, come talk to us anyway. And yeah, we're very much looking forward to meeting all you guys. Thanks.